Now, you can find yourself stuck in a toxic situation because you're trying to be a light in the darkness. But over time, you realize that your light is starting to go out and you need to get out of the toxic situation. But unfortunately, you can get bad advice from people who you care for, certain family members, even church leaders who tell you you need to try to be a light in that darkness. So you go back to the darkness, you turn it up, but all you're doing is burning your fuel, burning your oil. And you realize that the darkness around you isn't changing at all. And so you lose hope, you lose faith, and your light starts to shine even less until it's almost completely snuffed out by the narcissist. There's a huge misconception about what it means to be a light in the darkness, and we're going to talk about it. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before we get into this message, I want to let you know that in less than 30 days, I'm going to be facing one of my fears of heights and rappelling down 19 stories of the Four Seasons Hotel in downtown St. Louis. And I'm doing this thanks to you and thanks to your support, you sponsoring me to do that. And by the way, there's still time for you to become a sponsor. If you haven't yet made that decision or you've been back and forth on it, go ahead and become a sponsor. There's a link down below. Your sponsorship, all the proceeds go to Mission St. Louis. Also, if you have not yet followed me on Instagram, do so at Join the Royal We, where I'm going to be providing small videos and pictures of the steps I'm taking to overcome my fear before I rappel down 19 stories. All right, let's talk about trying to be a light in the darkness. Now, first and foremost, you should never, ever have to try to be a light in the darkness. You either are a light or you are not a light. Now, light is metaphorically speaking for your characteristics. It's the beauty that is you. It's your compassion, your empathy, your ambition, your joy in this life, your gratefulness, your gratitude. It's your beauty inside and out. This is what makes your light. This is the light that you have the right to shine before all people. Now, if you're trying to be a light, then what this means is that you're in a situation that's surrounded by darkness to the point where you have even been dampened by the darkness, and you're trying to be bright in a very dark situation. And ultimately, it's better just to get out of that situation when you recognize that that's where you are. But unfortunately, many times you can feel obligated to be a light in the darkness. You can feel obligated to stay in dark places. This obligation comes from certain moral principles that have been twisted. A lot of the Christian ideas have been about being a light in the world, because in the ancient literature it talks about how Jesus said you are to be a light in the world. It never says to try to be a light in darkness. It says you are a light amongst people. You are a light in the world, right? But it also makes these specific references so you understand what it's talking about. It references a city on a hill. It says a city on a hill that's lit up cannot be missed. In other words, everybody's going to see that. But notice this, a city on a hill that's lit up is separated from what's down below it. It also makes reference of a lampstand. A lampstand is separated, it's up high from people down below. This is a way in which lights can be seen. The misconception at some point became this idea and this principle that we somehow need to take our light and go into dark situations and let our light burn in dark situations and see what happens. Well, we've seen what happens while we have been involved with toxic people, especially narcissistic people. What happens? Nothing. Because light does nothing to change the darkness around it. You can be a light in the darkness, but it doesn't mean it's going to change the darkness. Listen, light is attractive to all kinds of things. You can be a light at nighttime and you're going to attract all kinds of bugs and creepy crawly things. But guess what? It doesn't change who the bugs are. It doesn't change what the creepy crawly things are. At the end of the day, there's still bugs and creepy crawly things, and you're just a light covered with them, right? The same is true with narcissistically abusive people. You can attract narcissists and toxicity into your life because you are a light-emitting person, because you're loving, caring, and genuine. But that doesn't mean it's going to change those things that have been attracted to you, the narcissists that are attracted to you. It's not going to change who they are. They're still going to be narcissists. This is the biggest misconception. So what is the purpose then of being a light if it's not to change what's around you? Well, the purpose of being a light, let's look at practically speaking what a light can do. A light in the darkness, its purpose is to help things in that darkness navigate itself out. Let's take, for example, a lighthouse. What does a lighthouse do? Its job is to navigate a ship. A ship recognizes the light, and the light navigates that ship out of the dark waters safely. So as a light in darkness, you can be used to help others who resonate with you to help see their way out of the darkness. A lot of what the Royal We is doing right here on videos that you're watching is trying to be a light that you can see. And if you're still stuck in a toxic, dark situation, hopefully this video is going to help to navigate you out of that situation. That's being a light in the darkness. What's another way of being a light in the darkness that works? How about to find your way out, right? It's hard to find your way out of darkness unless you have a light. So you can use a light to find the walls and to see your way out. Your light should help you find your way out of dark situations, out of toxic relationships, away from narcissistically abusive people. The closer you become with narcissists, the closer you become with toxic people, it means inevitably that your light is decreasing. Now, the final part of this message, the biggest misconception is that light can transform darkness. And this just isn't true. This isn't even scriptural for those of you who follow the Bible or believe in Christianity or whatever. I want to take you back quickly to the book of Genesis, the ancient literature. The authors are trying to tell us something when they talk about how God created the beginning of the world. It says that darkness existed, and it referenced darkness as chaos. And then it says that the Lord said, "Let there be light." And he called the light good. So you have chaos and you have good. And then it said this. It said that the Lord separated them, divided them. They are not one. They are like the polar opposite ends of magnets. They can't come together. They are offended by one another on purpose. And this is the truth in our everyday life with darkness, with narcissistic people, with toxic people. You will never transform them into light like you. All you will do is offend one another, because what does light have to do with darkness? Nothing. Being a light means that you put yourself in a position, you position yourself to where you can be seen by dark places. But you don't be a light in darkness expecting to change the darkness. Listen, a lighthouse navigating a ship is not trying to change the darkness. It's just trying to give the ship something to see. Do you follow me so far? The misconception is that your light can change the darkness around you. It doesn't work that way. It never has, and it never will. Don't try to be a light to change darkness around you. Have a better understanding of what your light is for. Help navigate people who are looking for ways out. Use your light to find your way out. And then be yourself so that all people can see. Be unashamed. Be joy-filled. Don't be afraid of who you are. Let your light shine. Not in toxic places, not in toxic relationships. Get out of that. But let your light shine as an individual and join with other people who are like-minded and letting their light shine. Listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey. Down below, you'll find access to one-on-one appointments with me where we can have a FaceTime call or a telephone call. There's direct links to my calendar right down below for that. By the way, the biggest question people have is, how do you get your light back? We'll take that appointment. Watch these videos, call and schedule an appointment, because sometimes all you need is to have some more oil poured back into your light. And with more oil and given that spark, you can become your light again and be happy about who you are again. That's all you need, is to refill what the narcissist has taken away from you. All right, so go down below and go directly to the calendar and schedule your appointment with me. Also down below, you'll find access to Monday night Royal We Live Chat and Saturday mornings Royal We Fellowship, where we look at the ancient literature of the Bible and apply our understanding of toxicity that's in the world. It's a great time of fellowship. That's every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And again, all the links are down below, so head on down there and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on The Royal We.